I'd like to present, Madam President.
Good evening, everybody. Wait, we got feedback. She good? Nope. Okay. I apologize for the delay. It's 7:15. 7:14, 7:15. I call this meeting to order. I don't have anything to bang on. Can we stand for the flag salute, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Patty, roll call, please.
Mrs. Chamberlain,
Here.
Mrs. Flack Sailor,
Here.
Mrs. Corey,
Here.
Say it again, Gail.
Here.
Can we hear her anywhere?
Mr. Dill,
Here.
Colonel Hennessy,
Here.
Dr. Jones,
Here.
Mr. Lepsis,
Here.
Dr. McCoy,
Here.
Mrs. Shoemaker.
Here.
Yeah.
In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, this is to announce that adequate notice of this meeting was given in the following manner. On January 8th, 2020, notice the Burlington County Times and the Central Record filed with the Township Clerk and posted in the office of the Business Administrator Board Secretary. Additional notification was made on August 9th, 2020 in the Burlington County Times to inform the public that this meeting will be utilizing Zoom. Notification was also posted on both the website and the district app. I direct the Business Administrator Board Secretary to enter this statement into the minutes.
Yes, that's true.
Okay, what do we do? Everybody's good? On our agenda, I have correspondence. Sean?
Really.
There's no correspondence this
One
time.
month for a hell of a long time.
Okay, approval of the minutes for the regular
I
meeting.
think there's just liberals in every society. That's the problem.
If you have your device unmuted, would you please mute it? Thank you. Approval of the minutes, the regular meeting, July 20th, 2020. Can I get a motion?
So moved,
moved.
Vicky.
It is. Well,
Okay.
masonry is very interesting.
Vicky, can I get a second?
Kevin.
Kevin. Any questions or comments?
You lost me on there, Madam President?
Same story, just different people.
I'm going to abstain from the committee of the whole from August, or whatever it was.
All right, well, we didn't get there yet.
Same story over and over with different characters.
We're still doing the regular meeting.
I told, what you call him,
All right, I need to find out who's not muted and please mute.
you know, I said it's ironic.
Yeah, the ironic guy.
Gentleman that's speaking. I have a.
Meg, you're muted.
Sorry.
How's that?
Yes.
All right, back to the regular meeting minutes. We have a motion from Kevin, a motion from Vicky, a second from Kevin. Any comments or questions? Patty, can I have roll call?
Mrs. Corey,
Gail, you're muted.
Yes.
Mr. Dill,
Yes.
Colonel Hennessy,
That would be a
Dr. Jones,
Yes.
Mr. Lepsis,
I will abstain, please.
July 20th.
I'll vote yes, please.
Okay.
Mrs. Sailor misled me over here.
Dr. McCoy,
Yes.
Mrs. Shoemaker,
Yes.
Mrs. Sailor,
Yes.
Mrs. Chamberlain.
Yes.
Thank you.
Committee of the whole work session on August 7th. Can I get a motion?
This is Dan. I'll second.
And first was Vicky.
Judy.
Sorry.
Comments or questions?
Chevalier, Andrew. Uh, But he,
Who is that? Either can I. Comments or questions for the committee of the whole? Seeing none. Patty?
Mrs. Corey?
Gail?
Corey?
yes,
Mrs. Schultz?
Yes.
Colonel
Yes.
Hensky? Dr. Jones?
yes,
Mr. Alexis?
I'll abstain.
There you go.
Dr. McCoy?
yes,
Mrs. Shoemaker?
yes,
Taylor?
Yes.
Mrs. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Thank you.
Liaison reports, NJSBA, Mrs. Corey, anything?
sir.
no,
2 horses, all kinds of.
no,
Okay. Burlington County SBA, Mrs. Shoemaker?
yes. They had a meeting on Monday, July 27th. They had elections and I sent, the minutes were in the packet, so you see who the officers are. And they had a planning session for the meetings for this year. They listed all the dates. The first one, September 22nd, will be virtual, and it will be on wellness and social emotional learning. The other dates, they're not sure whether they'll be virtual or live.
Okay. Anything for HSA?
Nothing.
Nothing. Ed Foundation, Colonel Hensky?
Yeah, we'll use your mic. The Ed Foundation, right now, there's not much going on, but they do want to make sure that they're there to support any type of additional programs. And as we go into this environment, virtual learning, and new hybrid platforms that they're willing to support the school district. So anything that we need for the principal and superintendents, to please reach out to them so that they can help out in any way, shape, or form. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. I was unable to attend Flash, but Mr. Bannon was there.
We had a small group that attended our flash. It was a very informative time where they're talking about the special education population and some of the needs that will be met through the virtual settings, the hybrid environments, and so on. And I'm sure that our next flash will be in more detail as we're trying to continue to improve the programs we're offering for these students in these new environments.
Okay, thank you. Wellness Committee, Mr. Dilts?
There was no meeting.
No meeting. Township Council?
no meeting.
No meeting. Okay, at this time, we'll have public comment on agenda items only. Please state your name and address. Each speaker will be allotted a maximum of 3 minutes. No one may speak more than once on the same topic. Please keep your comments respectful and non-defamatory. Keep in mind that it may not always be possible or appropriate for the board to directly answer questions during public comment periods. And at this time, you may only speak on agenda items. We have any hands? Jason's shaking his head no. Give it another second or two. For somebody to find their little button, because I know it'd take me a minute to find my button. I can't find buttons, so. All right, seeing none, we're going to move forward with the recommendations of the superintendent. Under personnel, we have 5 items. Can I get a motion?
so moved, Kevin,
Second, Megan Jones.
Okay, Kevin and Megan, any comments or questions? Patty, roll call?
Mrs. Corey?
yes,
Mr. Dilts?
Yes.
Colonel Hensky?
Yes.
Dr. Jones?
Yes,
Alexis?
Yes.
Dr. McCoy?
yes,
Mrs. Shoemaker?
Yes,
Yes.
Mrs. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Thank you.
Under financial, we have 1 through 25. Can I get a motion?
so moved, Vicky.
Vicky?
second Gail,
Gail, comments or questions?
Questions on number 14.
Okay, Number 14.
Approval of the 2021 school year bus driver overtime as needed for extra cleaning the buses, transporting vehicles, repairs, maintenance, field trips, sports activities, extra runs due to COVID-19 scheduling, etc. I get why we need it. I'm not inclined to give a blank check though. Is it possible to have this in some sort of buckets so we know what's being spent and when?
Yes,
And have a hard cap of like X thousands per month that we can keep an eye on?
absolutely. I think
Up in Slade.
happened this way was because they're not sure how many hours everyone's gonna be working.
Mhm.
So let me go back to transportation coordinator and we'll get a solid.
Yeah, no, I just,
Yep,
I have a fear of blank checks.
I agree with you. Yeah.
I have a question also on that same one.
And then they died after there wasn't that many of them.
Aren't some of these covered under contract? Transporting vehicles for repairs and maintenance, field trips, sports activities? Aren't they covered under contract on one of the schedules?
Some of them are, but some of the extra work that we're gonna be doing is gonna be considered an additional stipend. The way that the bus drivers are paid is per stipend for runs.
Okay.
So the extra work that's gonna be done prior to and after the run for the cleaning and the setting up and the movement back and forth will be additional funds. So it's not part of the normal day. Because typically they come in, they do the run, they leave, or they do any of the extra stuff that would be part of the contract. This is all outside of that. This is additional.
Okay, is it going to be based on their current salaries, or is there going to be a set amount?
I do apologize because I didn't realize we didn't have an amount on here, so let me check and make sure. I'm pretty sure it's a dollar amount. So a person is going to be assigned, every day you come in, you're going to clean, you're going to do your run, you're going to clean this bus. And then the next step, then you come back, you do your run, come back and you clean your bus. I think that's what's happening, but I'll verify and make sure.
All right, thank you.
Do we want to pull 14?
Pull
We make a
14.
motion to table 14 for the time being
Brian,
and refer to operations.
Table 14. And then I need a second.
A second.
Second,
And Can we
Steve.
do an all in favor for that, or do we have to do a vote? There's no dollar amount assessed to it.
I'll follow your lead, but if you want to be safe and do a roll
Yeah,
call.
let's
then-
do
Yeah, let's do a roll call, please.
Okay. Let's do a table.
So the vote is on the motion
To table number 14. Brian made a motion, Steve second. Go ahead.
Mrs. Corey,
Gail?
yes, yes,
Mr.
yes,
Colonel Hensky,
Yes.
Dr. Jones,
Yes.
Mr. Alexis,
Yes,
Dr. McCoy,
Yes.
Mrs. Shoemaker,
Yes,
Mrs. Saylor,
yes,
Mrs. Chamberlain.
Yes. Okay, so back to items 1 through 13 and then 15 through 25.
I have a question on number 21. Is the cost per participant or for the entire group of up to 25?
Up to 25 is $900 per
Mhm.
participant is $199.
Okay, so the 900 is a blanket.
Yes, for 25 people.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? 1 through 13, 15 through 25? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Mrs. Corey,
yes,
Mr. Dills,
Yes.
Colonel Hensky,
Yes.
Dr. Jones,
Yes.
Alexis,
yes,
Dr. McCoy,
Yes.
Mrs. Shoemaker,
yes,
Mrs. Saylor,
yes,
Mrs. Chamberlain.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Policy, second readings.
So moved.
1 through 9 million, it looks like.
Second, Megan Jones.
Okay, Kevin, Megan, any comments or questions? Seeing none, roll call?
Mrs. Corey,
yes,
Bill,
Yes.
Colonel Hensky,
Yes.
Dr. Jones,
Yes.
Alexis,
yes,
Dr. McCoy,
Yes.
Mrs. Shoemaker,
yes,
Saylor,
yes,
Mrs. Chamberlain.
Yes.
Thank you.
We have an enrollment number of 665. Do we have anything for miscellaneous? Do we have anything for unfinished business?
Actually, I had some, sorry.
Oh, go back to miscellaneous for Steve.
Just are the current school listing of supplies accurate for the environment that we're going into? I was looking over them and I got some reports from some parents. There's like hand wipes on there and stuff like this, it'd be very hard for families to find. And, you know, you're looking, I guess that goes to you, Sean.
Yeah, Steve, I can address that. So the supply lists were created in the springtime. One of the things, unfortunately, is we also use with the HSA of the First Day School Supplies Company to supply a lot of things and had to be ordered well in advance. So there could be modifications beyond that, but a lot of those supplies were the list that were given to the companies for the students that are ordering through that purchase part. But obviously, as I think you made up some good points that it's one of the things we've been looking into. There's talk, obviously, at that point in time, we thought that we were in a much different circumstance than we currently are. In terms of even if you look at some of the suppliers, they talk about using more communal supplies and things like that, which obviously the current guidance frowns upon. So there's definitely some major changes that have happened. Unfortunately, as I said, that a lot of those things were already purchased for certain things, but there could be modifications that need to be made based on if those that have not purchased them, if that makes sense.
It does. So what do we want parents to do in the meantime?
We will hopefully reflect on those and see if we can get them updated in the coming weeks so that way parents can, if they have not purchased them, can do so. But like you said, I think you brought some very good points in terms of some of those items that are incredibly hard to find right now.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Okay, unfinished business? New business? Public comment number 2, please state your name and address. Each speaker will be allotted a maximum of 3 minutes. No one may speak more than once on the same topic. Please keep your comments respectful and non-defamatory. Keep in mind that it may not always be possible or appropriate for the board to directly answer questions during public comment periods. And at this time, you may speak on educational matters not of a personal nature. Do we have any hands? I see one. Can you state your name and your address, please?
Toby Reilly, 14 Cuts Drive.
Okay.
14.
C-U-T-T-S.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay, so I think I speak for most people that I look forward to kids getting back to school as normal. I just want to make sure it's safe the way we're doing it. And you guys proposed your plan last week, and then I had some last week or 2 weeks ago, and I had some time to think about it. So I just have a few questions. Concerning your HVAC system, I think someone asked about it last time, but there was no answer. So what is the filtration system that's being used? What filter are you using? What's its minimum efficiency reporting value? When was last inspection done? Because I hear that HVAC systems are a big factor in the virus. So that's one of my questions. It was mentioned during the last board meeting that students would be given a wipe to clean their desk between classes. What chemicals are on these wipes? Are kids going to be given gloves when they're wiping their desks? What happens if kids have reactions to the chemicals? When will parents receive the proper notification of the chemicals being used? Another question is my experience that many districts have a difficult time securing substitute teachers even before all this craziness happened. What's the plan for getting subs now? A lot of people, I'm guessing, would be a little more hesitant to come into schools. You don't have the option of having teachers split their class between other classes because we have to keep class sizes small. What happens if there's no sub available? Like how many staff are not able to return due to medical reasons? How are you addressing this? Who's going to be teaching the students? Will they be teaching, teachers be teaching from home remotely, or are they getting a sub? What form will you use to collect info about the students being symptom-free before school? How are you going to monitor this? Like, will the bus driver have the information before they pick the kid up? What happens if someone forgets to fill the form out before school? Do you have proper ventilation in all the bathrooms? It's believed that fecal shedding of the COVID virus can happen for up to 8 weeks after recovery. If a toilet is flushed without a lid, the virus is present as aerosols. If you cannot ventilate a bathroom, it cannot be used. Do all our bathrooms have proper ventilation? Who's going to supervise and sanitize bathrooms during the school day? How often will that occur?
Okay, Mrs. Reilly, you seem to have a laundry list of questions. If you would, please write them down and send them in to Mr. Bannon.
Yep,
and
I will.
we'll get back to you.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
You guys can't answer any of them?
Not tonight. You have way too many questions for us to answer in a 3-minute period.
Okay, how about answer one of them?
Thank you for your comment. Write them down, send them in, please. Anybody else with any questions?
Meg, sorry, we have a question over here, Steve Carbone.
Hey,
I don't have my hand, I'm sorry.
hi, Krista. Address for Miss Patty?
It's actually her husband, Steve. It's 113 Fire Road, Tabernacle,
Got that, Patty?
Fireworks?
113
Fly.
Fly.
Oh, fine.
FLYATT.
Thank you.
I don't know if I'm allowed to ask this question at this time, so you can tell me no if it's not appropriate. We're not available during the day, and I did speak to Mr. Bannon about this.
Right.
So what happens to the students that can't log in during the day? And we have a 7-year-old, and we can't get started till late at night. So what's the program? I mean, is it all going to be video learning for these children? Is that an appropriate question at this time, or I can't answer?
It is not, Mr. Carbone. I can answer that one for you. So as we talked about, when I called you as well, it's not all video learning. I'm sorry, sir?
No, I said that. We did speak on the phone, and
Oh, yeah.
and you has, but I'm concerned that these lessons for small children late at night are going to be difficult, and we're not going to be around to help him all the time. So is this something that the school board's thinking of and still looking into, and maybe a work in progress as we go along?
I can tell you, at least at the current time, again, we're using more of a model where students would be able to watch the videos and then be working on the next day. It's what we're calling the flipped classroom model is what it's called in pedagogical practice or educational practice. So what that may mean is that the students would be watching these videos at home, then coming into school and applying the knowledge the next day, working on it that way. So it certainly could work in a circumstance like you were describing, where we don't have those additional supports, but we are working on our schedule to have our teachers available, even though you might not be available to assist your son during the school day, that when your student's able to get the synchronous or live instruction opportunities, those questions could be asked during that time too. And again, further cemented during the day when the student is actually in school as well. We do understand, obviously, unfortunately, with the circumstances being what they are in this hybrid environment that these schools are trying to create to make sure that we have the opportunity for our students to return as much as possible. In-person learning is not a perfect environment for the parents who are working during the day. That's how we're trying to make it so that it's not all synchronous, which would be a negative equity type of situation where all we're doing is saying there's live instruction, but again, like you mentioned, where parents are working during the day, therefore they can't ensure there's always available for that live. We're trying to make sure we have those videos pre-recorded as well, so that when you can watch it, you can assist Tommy, you can do that. And then obviously when they come into school, we can have this additional supports directly from the teachers as well.
All right, thank you for your answer.
You're welcome, sir.
Any other hands? Two more? Who do we got?
I believe Jackie Tomasetti was first. Apologies.
Hi. My address is 90 Richter Road.
Thank you.
Yep. I was just wondering, are we sending snack and water bottles to school with the kids?
Our current guidance is not to have snacks. We're only here for a half day. So there's lots to do with in terms of, again, obviously that would be if a situation that would be different depending on medical need for a student. We understand that one. But for the most part, the message has been not to have them, because obviously if you're taking food, then it would be an issue with mask. Whereas a water bottle, again, what's going to end up happening is our water fountains, what's called the bubbler, which is the area that you're used to where the water fountain come up, they will be no longer to be used. You could still use the water bottle filling stations. That way we're keeping it a more sanitary practice. And the student technically could have a water bottle that they could use without having to fully remove their mask by simply lifting up part of it and taking a drink that way. So that seems to be the recommended guidance at this time.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
One more?
Yeah, Danielle's iPhone is listed as.
Hi, yes, my address is 3 Waltham Drive. I just, with Toby's list of questions, I'm wondering, since none of them could be answered, and they were all great questions, and not speaking for all the parents, but for myself, how do we get the answers to those questions if it's just a direct email between Toby and Sean?
I can, first of all, I know the one question that I want to make sure I do assess, first of all, a couple quick things, if you don't mind, if I use some of your time to answer this, ma'am. You asked about the cleaning wipes for the desk. We also have wipes that we had to purchase for buses. As you recall, we mentioned that last time because we cannot have certain wipes being used depending on different chemicals or hand sanitizers with the full pump. So the wipes we're talking about are more alcohol-based wipes. They're not a high chemical product. So it's something that would not require a glove for a student, but certainly if a student felt the need or a parent felt the need to have their student wear a glove, we do have disposable gloves available, but we're buying something that is not required or will not have that sort of contaminant for them. In terms of our filtration systems, now there's been a lot of talk in terms of MERV ratings. I've heard more about HVAC systems than I can possibly ever imagined is going to be an issue. However, a lot of the things is to realize is that schools are under certain standards. And if you even look in the road back, it does talk about schools and districts must ensure that indoor facilities have adequate ventilation, including operation heating and so on. Circulated air must have a fresh air component. Open windows if AC is not provided. And filters from units must be maintained and changed and so on. Our school is held under POSHA standards, which is the Public Employees Operational Safety Health Guidelines. We are meeting those. We are fully in compliant with POSHA standards, and POSHA standards and ASHRAE standards do not require the MERV 13, which I know is being thrown out quite a bit. They require proper ventilation, which is something that we have met, we do meet, and we will continue to do that. That being said, it's something that we have investigated as the MERV units, because I know there's been a lot of talk about that. But again, one of the concerns is, as I talk to a lot of other schools, is depending on how high of a filtration system you put in there, you can actually negatively impact your ventilation. Which you can imagine if you put more blockage in, a higher filter, it could actually hurt the filtration. So we're trying to get some additional guidance because the last thing we'd want to do is put something in our system that would negatively impact the health and well-being of our students and our staff. So right now, we are operating under full standards of, as I said, as POSHA and ASHRAE, meeting all their guidelines, which would say that we are fully in compliant with the ventilation needs for this building to be operational.
Danielle, could you give me your last name, please?
Sure, it's Hale, H-A-L-E.
Sorry, okay. Got it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any more questions? Jason, nothing? Bless you, Jason.
Thanks.
All right, seeing no other public comments,
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So Brian, second? Nobody? Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All abstain. Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you.